Have you ever studied a language, turned on the podcast, and wondered when you would actually get to that level of fluency? Well, today I'd like to introduce a method that has really helped me become more confident and fluent in my Korean over the last couple of months. 안녕하세요. 이 영상에 오신 여러분 반갑습니다. 저는 에마라고 합니다. 저는 한국어를 배운 지 3년 정도 됐는데 사실 그동안 그냥 1년만 제대로 공부했어요. 언어를 배울 때 방법이 많잖아요. 오늘은 제가 팟캐스트로 효과적인 언어 공부 방법 하나를 소개하겠습니다. 이 방법이 여러분들을 도움이 될 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다. 그럼 우리 시작할게요. This method composes of 6 steps. Step 1, choose a podcast. Step 2, do a blind listen without reading or watching the video at all. Step 3 is to listen again, but this time with the subtitles. Step 4 is to practice shadowing, in which case you can focus on practicing your pronunciation or your intonation. Step 5 is to mute the video and repeat the video out loud. And the 6th and final step is to write a little comment or summary about the podcast. So step 1 is to choose a podcast whose style you'd ideally want to mimic. Perhaps someone in your age range or think about things the way that you think. And for me, my go-to podcast these days is Didi's Korean podcast. She's around my age and she uses a lot of the words and expressions that I would also like to have in my vocab arsenal at some point in the future. An opposite example is of my friend who's also studying Korean by herself. Actually, she watches a lot of Korean male idol variety shows and has picked up a lot of the speaking style and words and phrases from there, which would be fine if that was what she was going for. Step number 2 is to do a blind listen. Here is where you try to figure out the new words through the context of the podcast because it will be repeated quite a lot. You'd actually be surprised how many new words you can figure out on your own. An extra tip here is to try to create a mental image. Try to imagine along with the podcast. And that way you can use your mental image to fill in the blanks of any new word that you're encountering. Step 3 is to re-listen to the podcast, but this time with the subtitles. For me, I turn on both the Korean and English subtitles if there's the option. At this point, I pause the video multiple times and look up new words and expressions, jot them down, and I try to prioritize the words that I feel like I'd use more in my life, rather than words that are like super niche. So I make a note of about 80% of the words I learn, but I don't pressure myself into memorizing all of them because I know that as they surface in other podcasts or in other books that I read, they'll commit to memory then. So for this particular podcast, I ended up with about a page's worth of new words, but sometimes with the longer podcast, it can be about 2 pages of new words. But it really depends. It really depends on the episode. At this point, you've listened to the podcast twice. You've familiarized yourself with all the new words. So now we move on to step 4, which is shadowing. Shadowing is essentially when you repeat after what you're listening to, and you can shadow to practice on your pronunciation or your intonation. So to target your pronunciation, all you do is listen to a phrase, pause the video, repeat after the phrase, and do that all over again until you feel satisfied with how you're pronouncing the words compared to how you heard it in the podcast. Here, you want to focus on the individual sounds of the individual words. The second way to shadow is to target your intonation, which is the flow of the sounds, how it goes up and down, how you string the sounds together. Think of it as the melody of your speech, if you will. So for this section, I use my earphones with one earbud in and one earbud out. With the earbud in, I can listen to the podcast, read along with the subtitles, and repeat after the podcast immediately. I'm not focusing too much on the pronunciation of individual words, but more so the flow, how quickly or slowly Didi's speaking, when she has pauses or adds filler words. I'm doing that too. With my other free ear, I can monitor myself and the sounds that are coming out of my mouth. It'll be a little while before I can actually organically create my own phrases and sentences with this amount of vocab and expressions. And so this exercise allows me to practice my face muscles and vocal cord to produce these sounds at this particular speed before I am able to do it all by myself. So it's kind of like a support system, if you will. 그러니까 가족에 대한 정보를 담고 있어요. 이름에 성이 있는 나라도 있고 또 없는 나라도 있다고 하는데 한국은 모든 이름에 성이 있습니다. This helps create a lot of confidence in your intonation. And you'd be surprised how many sentence endings or expressions or filler words you actually catch on with this method of shadowing. If there are any difficult parts, feel free to rewind and repeat. Or you could also slow the video down to about 0.75 speed and carry on with the process from there. So step 5 is to read the podcast aloud, but this time with the video muted. At this point, you've listened to the podcast a couple times, you know all the new words now, you understand the context, you've practiced your pronunciation and intonation, so now it's time to put it all together and make it your own. So just play this video at any speed that you like, mute the audio track, and read the subtitles aloud. 그 다음으로 한난정은 이씨, 또 박씨인데요. 한국에서는 김, 이, 박 이 성들이 너무 흔해서 그냥 김이박라는 단어가 있기도 해요. This section can be a little bit challenging, so feel free to choose your own pace, give it a shot, and don't be too hard on yourself. So we've reached step 6, which is the last and final step. Here we want to summarize or comment a little bit about the podcast that we just watched. You can write in a notebook, or go on Notion or any other note-taking app that you like and type a little something out. Use some new words or phrases that you learned throughout the video, or you could even go to the bottom of the video itself and reply and interact with the other comments on the video as a way of practicing talking about it. You commenting on the videos actually helps the creator themselves, so the way I see it, it's a win-win. The question is, do I follow these 6 steps every single time? Well, the answer is not always. When I do have the time within a week, I try to do this within the span of 2 or 3 days, but on busier weeks, maybe I'll just listen to the video twice and call it a day. You know, the point is more so to keep it fun and exciting for your own studies, to adapt it to your own schedule. So in certain weeks, maybe you want to omit a step or 2 to make it fit your schedule. Other weeks, maybe you do the entire thing and see how that works for you. So to recap this entire video, there are 6 steps involved. Step 1 is to choose a podcast whose speaking style you'd want to mimic. Step 2 is to just listen and focus on the audio. Step 3 is to re-listen to the podcast, but with the subtitles, and to look up any new words that you want to remember. Step 4 is to practice shadowing, either targeting your pronunciation or your intonation. Step 5 is to mute the video and read the podcast aloud. And step 6 is to write a little comment or summary as more of like an output practice for yourself. So that is the end of the video. If you found something useful to implement into your own language journey, please let me know in the comments down below. 네, 끝까지 보신 여러분 너무너무 고맙고 앞으로 보고 싶은 영상이나 보고 싶은 주제가 있으면 댓글로 남겨주셔서 너무너무 감사하겠습니다. 네, 다음 영상에 만나요. 안녕!